And if you want any props at all, please feel free to use them at any time during the day. And so just to make it easier on yourself, if you need a blanket, bolster, blocks, whatever, get what you need. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this yoga flow. I'm saying yoga flow because really it's a combination of your breath moving at the same time as your movement. So we're trying to bring them both together in combination with your mind. So we're trying to bring the physical body, the mind, and the breath all together as one unit, and kind of just trying to release some stress and anxiety and anything else you want to let go of. Our practice today is actually a little bit different than I thought it was going to be, because I know we're all going through some traumatic times for the past year now. And but just recently we had a little bit of upsetting news. A friend of mine, her little boy, and they live in Arundel. It's the Odell and Dwyer families. Their little boy of 11 passed away last night. So excuse me if I get a little bit choked up. He had a brain hemorrhage. So we are going to, we're going to dedicate this practice to him. It's really, really difficult at this time. So we're going to actually talk about grief and how we deal with grief. And if I'm catching my breath a little bit, it's still really, really fresh. So we're all going through some bit of grief in different ways. It's either losing our freedom because of maybe the our curfew, or we can't get out to see friends, or we're missing a loved one, or we've lost a loved one or a friend or anything. But we're all going through some type of grief. Some are going to be, and it hits us in different ways. So how do we deal with all of that? So yoga can help us with that. It can really, really help us settle and bring our breathing back and really get in touch with our hearts, and find a place to land and find some stability there. So that's where we're going for today. So just come into a really, really comfortable seat. And so using any props that you like, okay? And you can sit any way that feels good in your body. We want to feel good here, okay? We want to give ourselves some love. Okay, and then sit yourself up as upright as you possibly can. If you need to lean against something, do that. And then close your eyes. And just take a few, breathe, just some nice deep breaths. In and out. And maybe if you need to, take a nice big breath in through your nose and sigh it out. Just to let go of your day maybe, or something that happened in your day, or absolutely anything really. Maybe it's just you need to let go of your breath. Maybe that's all it is. And just allow yourself to settle into your space where you are at this moment. And just allowing your practice to meet you where you are. So whatever's happened to you in the last year, have this practice meet you at that place. So emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever's going on with you. Okay, so root yourself down. And just be aware of the space that you're in. So take some time to do a little scan of your physical body. Just noticing how you're feeling today. So on Monday, I was having some issues with my shoulder and my left arm, but today I can raise it up into the air, so yay on that one. But just noticing every day we're a different day. This morning I couldn't raise my arm up, but now I can. So things change constantly. And just observing how we're feeling in our muscles and in our joints and maybe even in our organs, that can really, really help with how we're feeling. So do that little scan. Just being aware, going from one body part to another, taking your time, and you don't have to do it all in the next like 2 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. You can continuously through the practice today, keep going through the body and just noticing as much as you can. And then maybe move up into the mind and noticing your thoughts up there. Just how they're moving around today. Just noticing the feelings that are coming up right now. Maybe some sadness from what I've just told you. Maybe something else. There can be some joy too. Anything else that seems to come up at this moment. And throughout the practice, different things will come up. And then begin to notice the way that you're breathing. So maybe place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. And see if you can get in connection with the beating of your heart and the movement of your breath. Well, sometimes it's hard to feel the heart beating. Sometimes you have to go inwards just a little bit more. And maybe you don't really feel the heart in the heart place of the heart. Maybe you have to move your arm around, or maybe just touching a finger to finger, or just your hand to a part of the skin, or maybe without even putting your hand at your heart, you can feel the movement of the heart. Feeling that blood moving as the heart pumps. Notice the way that the breath is moving in and out through your body. And it might not even be down in the belly yet. But give it some time and slowly move it down there. Try to change it a little bit. Notice that that changes your heartbeat. And as we're moving through just this breathing pattern, just notice if you were scrunching up your face at all, where your shoulders are lifted, or you're holding in some part in the joint, maybe in the knees or the toes, or maybe your hands. And see if you can release that. Perhaps maybe taking your tongue and putting it up on your upper palate, right behind your teeth. Just gently place it there. And that might help you to relax, at least in the face. And have it soften. So as you're breathing, you're letting that breath grow a little bit. Bring yourself back to that, to our intention today to go a little bit deeper into the thought process of grief. And just notice if you have anything to grieve for this past year. And it could be really something really small, but it could be also something really big. And you don't have to label it at all as it being big or small. Whatever it is, it's still grief. So just bring yourself to that. And it's a healthy thing to become aware of the way you're grieving and your grief. It's not healthy to push it down and out of the way. We need to bring it up and we acknowledge it and deal with it. Because pushing it down, it just tends to eat at you. And it all of a sudden, it will come back in maybe a much more powerful way that's out of your reach and out of your conception. So whatever that grief is, just allow it to move through you. And be accepting of it. We all go through grief. And it's okay. Whatever that grief is, just move your breath. Let it flow through you. Not trying to resist it. Okay. And then on your next breath, you can bring your arms, bring them all the way above your head, giving yourself a nice little stretch. Big stretch. Lift those arms up as high as they can go within reason, just noticing. And then wrap your arms around your whole body and give yourself a hug. You can tuck the chin down into the arms and just give yourself a hug. Soften through the shoulders. You can roll over as much as you want to, going into a forward bend if you like. Take a moment here. Holding yourself, allowing the grief to move around you, not to resist it. Okay, on your next breath, come out of that hug, stretch your arms again up above your head. Big stretch, and then you're going to give your hug in the other direction. So bring the other arm above the other arm, so in the opposite way. Tuck your chin in a little bit, and then hug yourself in this way. So if the right arm was on top, this time the left arm is on top. And then just give yourself a hug again. Take a couple breaths here. Okay, and then release that. Bring your arms up above your head again. One last little stretch up, lengthen. Then bring the arms down, and then we're going to come on to our back with our knees bent, feet on the ground. We're going to move our feet away from each other towards the outer edges of the mat, and we're going to have the knees come towards each other. This is a constructive, restful pose. Now place one hand on the belly and one hand again on the heart. And allow yourself to soften here. Still becoming aware of your breath, the beating of the heart. Allow the breath to get bigger and fuller. We're not trying to struggle with anything. Just feel your breath moving through your body. Feeling your body just resting against the ground, being supported. Feel that support. Feel that support with the grief that you're dealing with right now. So whatever that grief is. And maybe it's not even the grief from this past year, although I think most people, majority of the entire world is going through some sort of grief. But perhaps it's a grief that's a little bit stronger, and maybe it happened longer ago, maybe, that you just have maybe resisted, and it's been, you've put it down deep within you, and you haven't dared to really bring it up. Maybe you're ready to bring it up now. And I'm not saying that grief is that once you bring it up and deal with it, it's going to go away. That's usually not how it works. It's just going to be maybe a little bit easier. You're going to be able to breathe through it and acknowledge it instead of hiding it. Because it's okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, it's okay to have all those emotions. So just feel your breath deepening, feel your body being supported on the ground. Noticing maybe places that you're holding on, maybe you can settle your shoulders on the ground a little bit more. Let's take 2 more breaths here, seeing if we can soften a little bit more here. This is a good pose to really begin with because it allows your whole body to soften. Because before you can stretch anything really out, or before you can strengthen anything in part of your body, you need to relax. You need to come to terms with what's going on in your body before you can go anywhere or make any improvements or changes. Okay, on your next breath, we're going to bring our arms either into a T position or into cactus arms. So wherever you want to bring your arms, and you might not have your hands or might not go all the way down. You can bring your arms out if you wish. We're going to open up the legs a little bit, bring the knees away from each other, and we're just going to start to do some windshield wipers. Just side to side. Just the knees to begin with. And they might not go all the way down onto the ground. They might just go a little bit. So just go as far as you can go. To side, feeling the motion in the spine, in the hips, perhaps in the shoulders. Still doing a little scan of the body. Maybe with every exhale, feel yourself just releasing a little bit more through something, some stagnant energy or maybe some grief. Okay, so the next time those knees are over on the right side, it's going to drop them down. So that might mean you need to adjust yourself a little bit more. I know I needed to move my hips a little bit more. And I think I'm going to bring my arms a little bit closer towards my body. Maybe crossing my arms, so bringing my right arm onto my left shoulder and my left arm onto my right shoulder. And then just coming into my twist this way. You can do something else with the arms if you like. And then depending on how your neck feels, you can perhaps keep your head either looking upright or move it over towards the same side as the knees, so towards the right, or perhaps you want to move your head over towards the left side. Don't force it though. Try it out and see first what works better. Just hold yourself here. Just coming in with compassion and empathy for yourself. Okay. And on your next breath, bring your head back to center if it's not already. And you're going to bring the knees back up. You can bring your arms down away from your chest if they've moved. And we're going to start to move the knees back and forth again, just a couple times. And then once they get to the left side, you're going to bring them down. And again, adjust yourself. And then maybe this time you want to bring your arms different or the same. Maybe crossing them in a different way. Making any adjustments. And again, doing the same thing with your head. So your head might be centered. It might be moving over towards the left side. Or perhaps it's moving over towards the right side. Again, not forcing it. Just feel yourself in this twist. Again, going in with some compassion. Letting go, releasing. And just allowing whatever grief that is moving through you, in whatever form it's taking. Just acknowledge it. Don't try to push it down. If any emotions come up out of this practice, it's all good. It's all okay. It could be some tears. It could be some, some feelings, some strong feelings. That's okay. Okay, let's take one more breath here. Okay, and then you're going to bring your head back to center if it isn't already. And bring your arms down and bring your knees back. And then you're just going to stay here just for a moment. Just allow the body to readjust and just notice how you feel. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your hips on the ground. Take a few breaths. If you want to place your hand on your belly and your heart again to come in connection with the breath and with the heartbeat, do that. Or if you can really just feel them without even placing your hands there, that's great. Okay. And then on your next breath, we're going to just bring the knees in towards the chest. Well, they might only go up so far. So just go to where you can go. You might just hold on to your knees. Maybe your feet need to stay on the ground. You're just holding on to the front of your thighs. Perhaps you can hold on to underneath your thighs or maybe onto the shins, wherever you like. So wherever you are, just take a moment here. So you're trying to just bring those thighs closer towards your chest. So again, going into another hug. If you want to bring the chin up towards your chest, go ahead, soften the shoulders. We're not going to be up here for very long. We're going to take a few breaths here. And then you can lower the head back. And hold it here. Okay, and then we're just going to move those feet down again onto the ground. Knees are bent. And again, taking a moment here. Noticing what you feel when that little bit of compression in the belly area. And then we're going to take that right knee and hug it a little bit more in towards the chest. So the left knee can be bent, or if you like a little bit more of a stretch, you can stretch that left leg out and down, maybe flex the foot. And then we're going to do some ankle circles in through the right ankle. So going one direction, going the other direction. Again, just watching the breath moving through your body. If your mind wanders, it's okay. Just bring it back. Okay, so relax the foot. We're going to start to just move the knee. So you might want to move the knee and through the hip in little circles. So you might want to use your hand, or perhaps you just want to bring your hand down and let the leg move itself. So the right leg is moving around in circles, just a couple times, one direction, and then in the opposite direction. And then bring that leg back to center. So if your leg is, the left leg is straight, bend it again. And we're going to take your right leg, lift it up into the air. You can hold on to it if you like, or not, up to you. And then see if you can bring that right leg and cross it. So the right ankle is crossing over the top of the left thigh. If that's not really working for you, you can always bring it down onto your lower shin or maybe across it against your ankle. That's always fine too. So you find what works for you, using any support that you need to make. I'm going to just take a moment here. Noticing any sensations that are coming up here. Just allowing the breath to move through you, compassion for that grief to move through you. Okay. So if you want to, you can just stay here if you like. This is actually a lot. Or you can take your left knee and bring it up towards the chest, leaving that right ankle on top of that left thigh. You can hold on to that left thigh, or maybe the shin if you can reach that much. Or you might just want to just bring that leg up and then just hold it there. So you're in a figure four. The left leg doesn't have to go up or down. It can just relax here. Just take a moment here. And then if you like, you can reach that left leg up into the air, stretch it up, and then bring it all the way back down. Foot lands onto the ground, knee is bent, and then take that right leg and reach it all the way back up to the air, and then bring it down. So both knees are bent and your feet are flat on the ground. And just take a moment here. We do the same thing on the other side. Again, just pay attention to your breath. Just feeling whatever grief or whatever thoughts or feelings are moving through you right now, to allow them to move. And then we're going to take that left knee in towards the chest. So holding on to it if you want to. That right knee can be bent with your foot on the ground, or if you like, you can stretch that leg out and give a little bit more of a stretch. Entirely up to you what you'd like to do. You can flex that foot if you like, or just keep the knee bent and on the ground. Then we're going to start to move the ankle on the left foot around in one direction, little circles, and then in the other direction, little circles. And then let that foot relax. And then we're going to start to move the knee around in the hip. So moving it around in little circles, going one direction just a couple times. It's kind of stirring up not only the hip flexors, but also the hormones, the adrenal glands responsible for hormone production. And then in the other direction. We have all these feelings, we might as well stir them up a little bit more, huh? Moving them around and around. Good. Okay, and then coming back to center, get a little squeeze to that knee. And then you can reach that leg up into the air. And then you're going to take that left ankle and place it down onto your right thigh. If this doesn't seem right to you, you can always bring it down onto that right shin or the ankle. Either or, it's up to you. And just allow it to sit here and just hold here and just breathe. So paying attention to sensations or thoughts or whatever's happening to you right now. So whatever you're experiencing right now is what you're supposed to be experiencing. Try not to label it, just see what happens. Just being aware of your breath, being aware of the heart, beating of your heart, what things are coming up when we're thinking about the grief that's been in our lives, that's happened in the last year with all that we've been going through. Okay, so you can stay here, or if you like, you can take your right knee and thigh and bring it closer in towards your chest, maybe holding on underneath that thigh, or maybe holding on to the chin if you have long enough arms. I don't. Or just don't hold on to it. Just bring that leg up a little bit. Just hold it here. Just notice how that feels. And then if you like, you can take that right leg and lift it up into the air. So it looks like a figure four. And then bring that leg back and bring that foot onto the ground. And then taking that left leg and reaching it up into the air and then bringing it back down again. And just take a moment here. Again, noticing if anything's come out of that. Any feelings, any sensations. And then we're going to bring the knees back in towards the chest. Give ourselves a little hug. So you can give yourselves a hug in towards the knees, or maybe just wrap your arms around your body. And then if you like, you can take your legs and reach them up towards the ceiling. Take a few moments here. And then bring the legs down, bring your feet down onto the ground. Take a breath here, release the arms. Then we're going to come over onto one side in a fetal position. So rolling over onto your side. I'm just taking a moment. Just take a moment here. And then whenever you're ready, you can push yourself up. We're going to come into a table. So if you need to have more padding underneath your knees, you can do that. Okay. So you can curl the toes or have the tops of the feet on your mat. We're coming into a tabletop. Just take a few breaths here. We're going to start to flow through some cows and some cats. So dropping the belly. So here we're just opening up our hearts. So to release, we just need to open up the heart just a little bit more. Allow your heart to open towards that grief. Belly's lowered. Exhale, round up the back, go inwards. Inwards, just like a little hug here. And again, back into your table and then your cow. And then exhale, move through your cat. And again, into your table. And into your cat. And then we're going to come into child's pose. So open up your knees a little bit. And then we're going to settle those hips down towards the heels. And again, if that's not working for you, you can place something underneath your knees. Or you can come onto a chair. I'm just going to show you on this chair, whatever you have. You can just rest yourself on the chair like this when you're on your knees. Or anything else that works for you. So just coming into a child's pose. And just allow yourself to forward bend. It's more up to a forward bend. We're just taking a few moments here. Again, noticing the difference now that we're more on forwards towards the mat instead of on our backs. And how whatever you chose, whatever you're feeling right now, if it's changed or not in this way. When we're on our backs, we're a lot more open and to any sensations. When we're going towards on our tummies, we find we're a little bit more go inwards, bringing more attention inwards. Okay. And then on your next breath, we're going to bring ourselves back up. And we're going to come into a downward dog. So up to you how you like to do this. I like to, so there's a few options here. You can go into your regular downward dog, but I like you to maybe curl the toes under, bring the hips back towards the heels, and then lift up the knees, and then move those hips upwards. And then you can wiggle the feet around and play with it. And don't worry about if the heels get down onto the ground or not. Just have that sending your sit bones up towards the sky. If you want to use a chair, just hold on to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. And then you're just going to come up and then you're just going to walk your feet away from it. And you can be on the balls of your feet, or you can bring your heels down. Keep a nice bend into the knees. And just again, send those sit bones back and up. And just feel a nice stretch through your back and through your arms. And just find what works for you. And just noticing how you're feeling. Really paying attention to sensations. Okay, and then we're gonna slowly transition out of this pose. So either walking your feet towards your hands or your hands towards your feet. And we're gonna come into a nice little forward fold. So a really gentle forward fold. You might be bending and resting your arms on your thighs. You might be able to touch the ground or touch your ankles or your shins. So going to where you can go. Maybe you need support and use the wall. It's all good. Okay, and then we're just gonna slowly walk our bodies up. Coming into standing up on our feet. And coming into mountain pose, and just take a moment here. Again, come into your breath, come into your heartbeat. Just notice different sensations. Okay, so if you need a wall or a chair for the next part, just open up your eyes. I'm going to take your right leg and we're going to cross it over the left leg. So we're actually going to go into eagle pose, Garudasana. So you can bend into that left knee and bring the right leg all the way up and wiggle it around. You can do it that way, or just take the right leg and cross it over and be on both feet, which is fine. We're just squeezing those legs together. So we don't have to be on one foot. We don't need to. We actually really want to be stable here. We're dealing with a big thing. Grief is a big thing. So get as stable as you possibly can. So really root down. This is doing a lot. We're squeezing in. We're hugging ourselves here. Okay, so once you got the legs done, we can do the arms. So bring your arms out nice and wide. And we're going to take our right arm and we're going to bring it underneath the left arm. And we're just going to twist the arms around as much as you can. Drop the elbows down towards the chest. Fingers are pointing upwards. So you might be twisting up at the triceps, or you might be just twisting at the wrists and just bringing the back of the hands together. That's perfectly fine. So try to stand up nice and tall. If you need to hold on to something, please do so for support. You want to feel really supported here. And just breathe here. Just noticing the sensation. So you're giving yourself a big body hug here. Through your whole body. Just breathe here. And you can only do, if you just need to just do the legs or just the arms, you don't have to do both. You can just give yourself a hug. That's okay too. Give yourself a hug and with some compassion. Okay, let's have one more breath here. And then unwind the arms. Bring them down, stand up, unwind the legs, bring them back, and then just wiggle around a little bit. Just allowing anything to just release and let go. Okay, and then stand nice and still for a couple more moments. Maybe close your eyes, go inwards a little bit more. I'm just noticing what you see behind your closed eyelids. Maybe some visions depicting your grief. It might be just shapes or colors. Just notice what's happening. Okay, and then we're going to move over towards the other side. So you can open up your eyes, focus on one spot, bend into that right knee, and you're going to take that left leg and you can bring it all the way up and then stand on one leg, or you can just squeeze those thighs together, squeeze the knees together, and bring both feet firmly planted onto the ground. And let's hold it here for a moment. And then if you want to add the arms or just do the arms, bring the arms up. And the left arm is going to go underneath the right arm. So twisting up at the upper arm or the lower arm, or just the wrists, or just bringing the hands, back of the hands together, hugging those elbows in towards the chest. Fingers are pointing upwards, standing up nice and tall. So depending on how supported you feel, how in balance you feel, you might close your eyes. Or you can just stay with your eyes open, focusing and just observing what's all the things that are happening here in your body, in your mind. Feeling lots of compassion, feeling your breath, feeling your heartbeat. Maybe noticing what the grief is doing. And it's all okay. Whatever it is, whatever you're feeling, it's all totally fine. And just giving ourselves a nice big hug, hugging ourselves inwards, not to suppress the grief, just telling ourselves it's okay to release the grief, to acknowledge the grief. Let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to slowly come out of it. So you can unwind the arms first. Bring them up, open. Bring them down, and then unwind those legs. Bring them back, maybe wiggle the hips. Wiggle those legs apart. Maybe you need to wiggle everything. Maybe you just need to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle everything just to let go of stuff. And then just become still. Come back to your Tadasana. Just close your eyes. And again, just notice. How does your heart feel? How does your breath feel? How does your body feel? What's going on right at this moment? Again, maybe you notice some things behind your closed eyes, maybe some colors, shapes, pictures, images, something, maybe nothing. Okay, on your next breath, you can open up your eyes, bring your hands towards your heart. And we're going to take a step back with our right foot. And it's going to be like if you're on skis, and you're just going to slide your right foot back. So you're still kind of like either on railroad tracks or skis. Okay, and you can open up your legs as much as you like to get yourself stable and comfortable here. So we're going to go into pyramid pose. So your feet can be as wide apart as you like, and as the length can be, it could be 1 foot, 2 feet, maybe even wider if you like. But just find yourself, as long as you're stable. We're going to stand up as tall as you can. Bring your hands towards your heart. And then we're going to bend right from that hip crease, keeping the legs straight, but very, very micro bends in the knees. Soften through the shoulders, and we're just going to tilt ourselves forwards. Tilt ourselves forwards as far as we can go. Neck is in line with the rest of your core. So it's in line with your spine. And we're just going to go to where we can go. Trying to keep the hips level. You can keep your hands here at your heart. Or maybe you want to bring your hands back onto your sacrum. Or maybe you want to bring your arms down onto the ground, which I'm not going to do today. But you can bring your arms down if you like. Or maybe you want to give yourself another hug. Maybe you want to hold on to those shoulders. Try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. So go to where you can go. You can try different places where to put your hands. Maybe you can reach all the way down to the ground. Maybe you want to reach your arms out front. Just find a place that feels the best to you. And just stay here for a couple of breaths. Equal distance and equal weight in both feet. You might have a tendency of putting the weight all on the front foot. See if you can move that weight into the back foot as well. Trying to keep the shoulders and the hips level. I'm just taking a couple of breaths here. Okay, let's take one more breath. Nice slow exhale out. And then on your inhale, slowly bring yourself all the way back up. Your hands towards your heart. Take a step forwards. And find your balance here. And just take a moment here. Maybe you need to go inwards again. Noticing the thoughts in your mind. How the grief has moved through you, through your body. Maybe it feels stuck, maybe it doesn't, maybe it feels loose, maybe it's moving around. Maybe you've gotten rid of some, maybe not. Okay, let's open up your eyes and let's take the left leg now and just slide it back. As if you're on skis or railroad tracks. And your feet might be a little bit different. It might feel different on this side. And just push both feet equally down. Stand up nice and tall. And then you're going to bend from your hip flexors, right from the hips, where they meet the femur, and fold forwards. I mean, if you can go much more forward than this, then you can do that. But we don't want to struggle here. Try to put both weight in both feet equally, and then you can bring your arms to wherever you feel. And it might feel different on this side, so maybe try bringing them onto your sacrum. Maybe keep them here by your heart. Maybe you can reach them down towards your toes. Maybe you can actually forward bend right onto that right thigh. Maybe you're just going to bring your hands to your shoulders, soften the shoulders, soften the neck. And try to soften here and breathe. Again, noticing how it feels on this side. Try not to lock the knees. The knees have a little bit of a micro bend in them. Just take some time here. Again, as always, if there's something that we're doing that's not working for you, imagine that you're doing it instead. The imagination is very, very powerful. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Okay, and then we're going to slowly come all the way back up. Bring your hands towards your heart. Take a step forwards. Take a moment here, close your eyes. Notice what you notice. Maybe how this side is different from your other side. Maybe you were able to bring yourself inwards a little bit more to acknowledge any grief or anything else that seems to have come up. Okay, we're going to make our way all the way back down onto our backs. Again, all the way down onto the ground. So get down there however you need to get down there. So you're on your back and get comfortable. So on your backs, get comfortable. If you need a blanket, use a blanket, but just lay down on your back. Okay, I'm going to sit up because I'm going to be talking you through this. So lay down on your back. If you need a pillow, use a pillow. If you need some support somewhere, use some support. Your legs can be extended. You can bend your knees if you like. You can bring your legs up onto a chair or a couch or whatever. Just get yourself really comfortable. Feel secure. Bring your arms down to wherever they feel comfortable. If you want to bring a hand towards your heart and your belly, go ahead. Close your eyes. Come back to your breath. Feel your breath moving through your body. Feel your heart beating. And then gently bring your awareness to your feet, to your toes. Don't look at your toes, just feel your toes. Breathe through your toes. Breathe through your big toe and allow it to soften and relax. Breathe through your second toes. Allow them to release. Breathe through your third toe. And then your fourth toe. And your fifth toe. And then bring your attention to the top of your feet. And allow your feet, the top of your feet to soften. Feel anything that's negative, allow it to melt away. And then bring your attention to the sole of your foot. Your heel, the ball of your foot, the arch of your foot. Feeling it soften. Release and let go. Bring your attention to your ankles. Breathe through those ankles. Feel the motion of the liquid in the ankle joint. Feel it slide around. Feel any tightness release from the ankle. And move yourself up into your tension into your shin and your calf, your lower leg. Feeling the muscles in the leg, the ligaments in that lower leg soften and release in both legs. Feeling the heaviness as they come, maybe touch the ground. Or maybe just feel them floating as they relax. And turn your attention towards your knees. Feeling the bones in the knees, the ligaments that surround the knee joint. Feeling them just totally relax. Let go. No gripping. Just a nice softness. And then bring your attention to the front of the thigh, the quadriceps, those four big muscles. Breathe through those muscles. Breathe in and just let that breath go, as well as any tension that might be lingering in those muscles. Feeling those soften. And then bring your attention to your hamstrings. Feeling the back of the thighs begin to soften as they perhaps rest on the ground, feeling heavy and supported. Feeling very soft in this area as you release. And then bring your attention to the psoas muscle. It's a big muscle that connects your hips to your thighs in the front of the body. And direct your breath there to release and soften. Let go of any tension. And then bring your attention to your hips. Your hips and your pelvis. Feeling the pelvic floor soften as you breathe in. Feeling the joints in the hips become very, very soft. Feel the hips and the whole entire buttocks rest on the ground, becoming very soft and relaxed as you breathe into those spaces. And then bring your attention to your belly, feeling the breath residing there. Feeling your belly rise and fall with every breath. Perhaps even noticing all the organs in that area softening, and being able to relax as your beautiful breath just massages them. Bring your attention upwards, up towards the diaphragm and towards the sternum, into the chest. Beginning to feel the lungs expanding and contracting, heart moving, pumping, allowing the blood to flow all throughout the body. And feel a very gentle softness there, an opening full of empathy and compassion for yourself and any grief that you're acknowledging at this moment. And then bring your attention to your back, to the spine. Breathe up and down your spine, into the low back, into the middle of the back, into the upper back. Feeling it connect with the ground. Feel it soften and relax. And then bring your attention to your shoulders. Feel the shoulders connect. Feel the softening as you breathe into your shoulder joints, into the front part of the shoulder, into the back part of the shoulder. And then move that attention and that breath all the way down your arm, in through the biceps, in through the triceps, into the elbows, down into the forearm, releasing any tension as you breathe through these spaces, into the wrist as the wrist begins to soften, into the palm of the hand, into all the fingers as they release, into the top of the hand, feeling everything melt. Fingers softening. Then bring your attention towards your neck. Breathe through the neck, allowing all the ligaments to release. Bring that attention and that breath up into the face, into the jaw, into the cheeks, the tongue, the nose, the eyes, the temple, the forehead. Perhaps up into the head, feeling the breath moving up there, relaxing and releasing. And then feel the breath moving through your whole body. Slow and deep and soft, very, very gentle. Feel it grounding you. Feel it softening you. Feel it loving you. Feel it acknowledging you. peacefully bring your awareness back to where you are. Bring your awareness back to your breath, allowing your breath to deepen. And then start to give a little bit of movement into your fingers and into your toes. Gently acknowledging all the different sensations and things that are happening in your body and in your mind. Notice the beating of your heart, feeling the movements coming back into the body. Feel the energy, feel the love, feel the compassion. Whenever you're ready, give yourself a nice big stretch. Maybe another hug if you like. Slowly roll yourself over onto one side into a fetal position. And just acknowledging everything that you've been through at this time. And how deals, just acknowledging that grief, whatever it may be, how it feels. And slowly push yourself up into a seat. And get yourself grounded and settled again. Bring your hands towards your heart. And bow your head down towards your heart and your hands. And just take some time to reflect on your practice today. And anything that came up. Anything at all. Maybe how the grief was, how it felt in your body. If you were able to acknowledge it, or what exactly happened. And then the practice through the breath, through the beating of your heart. How maybe you came to an understanding. And then give yourself some gratitude. Give yourself some gratitude for being here, for coming together to join each of us through our energy. Coming together as a collective, knowing that we're all going through some type of grief in some various way, some degree. We all can relate in some way to this grief. Let's finish our practice today. Let's come together with one beautiful Om, feeling that vibration move through our bodies, having it connect. We're all one wave in the same ocean, all coming together as one. So take a breath in through the nose. Exhale out. Breathe in for one Om. May the light and positive energy that shines in me join the light and positive energy that shines in each one of you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. I know it's helped me dealing with my grief. Hopefully it's helped you in acknowledging and dealing with whatever you needed to deal with through this extraordinary year. Namaste. Thank you.